Hi guys! So today we're going to talk about energy balance, BMR and total daily energy expenditure. So a lot of people are confused by these terms, and when they hear them they get a little bit confused, and it can be quite isolating for people, especially if you're trying to, achieve a goal, maybe lose some weight, and then someone is using all these different words that you just don't understand. So don't feel silly, especially if you're just starting out in your journey. Everyone has to learn, from scratch at some point. So just bear with it and it will all become a lot more clear as time goes on. So I'm just going to bring you through this slide that I've made and hopefully make it as clear as possible for you so that you can get started on your journey and not be confused by different words and different terms. And just to understand the process really of how weight loss or weight gain happens. So first thing I've written there is, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And that goes for most aspects of our lives. So it's so true. If we don't know, what's going on, then how are we supposed to manage it? So if we have no idea how much we're eating in a day, then how are we supposed to know what to do in order to either lose or gain weight? So think of weight management, either losing or gaining, as calories consumed versus calories expended. So basically, how much you eat versus how much you require. So how much you require to actually stay alive and how much you require to carry out the exercise that you're doing on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, depending. So how do you figure out your baseline and determine how many calories you should be eating? So I see this a lot online on social media, especially like Fitspo page or influencers or whatnot, just saying to people, oh, just do a calorie deficit, just go on a calorie deficit. It's as simple as that. But for some people, it's not really that simple because they have no idea how many calories that they're eating. They may not even know what a calorie deficit is. How are they expected to know if no one has ever, explained it to them, or, taken the time to explain to them? So don't worry if you've heard these words and you have no idea where to start or what to even do, because you're not the only one, and, everyone has to start somewhere. So I'm going to hopefully make it more clear for you so that you can go along on your journey and not be confused by the different words and terms used. So this is where having a basic understanding of BMR and total daily expenditure comes into play. So this is BMR is your basal metabolic rate, and total daily expenditure is, the amount of energy that you require throughout the day, and this is what will determine where your baseline calories should be at and where you should be at if you want to go into a deficit. So these formulas, you can calculate them using, your own home formulas, or you can do it online through different calculators and stuff that are out there. Or if you're turning to someone for advice, or you're going to a nutritionist or a personal trainer, then they can calculate this for you. So basically, it's how much energy you spend per day, and this allows you to set your calorie goals to either lose or gain weight. So depending on your goal, your total daily expenditure will be calculated, and then depending on your goal, your rate of calories will be set. So coming down here, basal metabolic rate, BMR, is how many calories you burn when your body is at rest. So not only do you take this into consideration when calculating your daily energy expenditure, so you take into consideration, how many calories you burn at rest, so me right now, sitting, talking, as well as the amount of calories that I would burn, working out. So these things are all taken into consideration. Also, your things like your job, your routine, your daily routine, how active are you? Do you go off shopping? Do you spend most of your day sitting down and work? All of these things will determine what you should be eating throughout the day. So basal metabolic rate, I'll just go into this in a little bit more detail for you. So you can think of it as the amount of energy you'd burn if you stayed in bed all day, or a couch potato day. So some people call it couch potato calories. It's the calories your body needs to keep you alive. This is the bare minimum. Imagine you were in a coma, that's the level we're talking about here. So organs, your organs working, your blood pumping, blood flow, breathing, all the rest of it. So this is between 60 to 75% of your daily calories, This is how 60 to 75% of your daily calories are burned just by staying alive. So it's mainly determined by your weight, your height, your gender, your age. So obviously, if you're a big, tall person, if you're already quite large, then it's going to be higher. So it's interchangeable. So it changes when you diet. So when you diet, your BMR changes. So it doesn't remain the same all of the time. Okay, so total daily energy expenditure. This is an estimation of how many calories you burn each day, including daily movements and your typical exercise. So this would be your steps and the workouts that you would do at home or in the gym. So when you have a simple understanding of BMR and total daily energy expenditure and the relationship between them, it gets a whole lot easier to, reach your weight or body composition goals. So if you know that by moving more, by eating a little less, that's how you kickstart results and all the rest of it, then it becomes a whole lot easier. So I think sometimes people, they don't really understand the concept of energy in versus energy out. Where people fall down when they think that just because they've done, let's say, 30 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour's exercise, that they can go and eat whatever they want. And it's very, very difficult to, eat what you want and not go backwards. So energy in versus energy out does not mean that if you expend energy that you can consume an awful lot of energy. There is a little bit of a kicker there where it's not as easy to balance as people think. So factors that affect total daily expenditure. So BMR, obviously, like I said at the beginning, it's determined by your body weight, changes and goes down when dieting. So NEAT is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is like folding clothes, showering, everything. Just sitting here on the laptop is NEAT. So EAT is exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is a workout, a run, an intentional period of time where you go off and you try to, expend calories or to work out or even weight sessions and stuff like that. So then there's the thermic effect from food. And this is basically the breakdown of food. So the digestion from the moment that you put it into your mouth and start chewing all the way to absorption. So protein is the one that requires the most energy. It actually uses about 25% of its own energy to digest. So this is why this is one of the reasons why protein is an excellent food when you're trying to lose weight. So then it is, oh yeah, okay, coming down here. If your calorie consumption is equal to your total daily expenditure, you will maintain your current weight. So that's what people called the maintenance, maintaining your weight. If your calorie consumption is less than your total daily expenditure, then you will lose weight. So that is what we call your calorie deficit. And then if your calorie consumption is more than your total daily expenditure, then you will gain weight. So that is your calorie surplus. So that's what those words mean. You probably have a basic understanding of what all these words mean, but when you try to put them into context, it might just be a little bit confusing. So if you're trying to maintain your weight, maybe and just improve your diet, just to get more nutrients in, but you were happy with, your weight that you were at, then you'd be looking at maintaining your weight. So then you wouldn't be looking to reduce your calories by what you're on at the minute. If you were looking to lose weight, then of course you'd be looking to you'd be looking to go into calorie deficit. So that would be consuming less than your total daily expenditure. And then finally, if you were looking to, let's say, build muscle or gain weight in any way, shape, or form, then you'd be looking to go into a surplus. And that is when your calorie consumption is more than your total daily expenditure. Okie dokie. So the problems arising, misleading information. So there's a lack of understanding out there around nutrition. Some people think that, they can eat large amounts of, let's say, superfoods. So foods that contain lots of nutrients, but sometimes those foods also contain a lot of calories, and we can't just eat unlimited supplies of them. So then hidden calories. So oftentimes people really aren't aware of, hidden calories. So they might think that they're eating really, really healthy and they eat all the perfect things, but in reality, they may be, dosed in olive oil and that's ranking their calories up, or they might have lots of butter in vegetables and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with olive oil or butter, but oftentimes the hidden calories is, the missing link that people don't really seem to acknowledge sometimes. So that's one little bit of problem that may arise. And then food choice. So people aren't really aware of the different food choices to pick when they're trying to achieve a certain goal. So then eating back calories. So an example of eating back calories is people wearing Fitbits. So they see, you've burned 2,000 calories in your workout today. And then they go and they have 2,000 calories worth of pizza because they feel that they maybe deserve it or that they've earned it, or that the pizza won't affect them in any way if they're trying to lose weight or whatever, because they have worked off this 2,000 calories. But that's just not how it works at all. We should never look at exercise as a means of, making room for extra food such as pizza. It should complement your goals, of course, but it's an unhealthy way to look at eating food. So this whole idea of eating back calories, Fitbits can actually be between 35 and 40% inaccurate. So they can vary. They can either overestimate or underestimate the amount of calories you burned. So it's going to be way off. So there's actually no point really looking at it at all. The average amount of calories burned in a workout is about 200 calories, and that would be on the higher scale of it. So this idea of eating back a tub of ice cream because you've worked off a tub of ice cream is just going to make you go round and round in circles. So I wouldn't really pay attention to that. And then overestimation of NEAT. So a lot of people, you'll ask them, what's your NEAT like? And your steps and stuff like that. And they'll say, oh, very, very high, I'm in a really busy job. But their NEAT mightn't actually be as high as they think, because their job might be very busy, but they might be standing in the one spot all day, let's say. So it isn't as high as they think, and then their calories may be overestimated, or equally on the other side of things, they may be underestimated. So misleading information, e.g. you burn calories faster after HIIT, so then the idea of people thinking there's a free window after, let's say, a HIIT session. So I know I've heard someone say before, oh sure, I've done 30 minutes HIIT, I can eat whatever I like for the next hour. I think they thought that whatever you eat after that session, you'd burn really, really quickly, especially in the first hour. And that just isn't the case at all. You definitely do burn more calories a little quicker, but it wouldn't be to the extent that you could eat whatever you wanted, without having consequences for that, of course. So my top 5 tips for progress. The more barriers you can reduce when having to think about your calories, the better you will do, and I promise that is true. So the less you complicate things, this more simple, the more you break it down, and basically the more simple way you approach it, the better. So the goal is not to progress as fast as possible or to be perfect. It's to be consistent. So if you don't see results overnight, it's not the be all and end all. It's over a consistent basis. That's what will matter. So being consistent is really the most important thing. Be honest with yourself and remember your reason why. That speaks for itself. So anytime you're doubting, whether you can keep going with it, just come back to the reason why you started, and it should give you that boost that you need. Create a routine, plan and structure your meals. So that speaks for itself. Also, the more routine, the more planning and the more structure that you put in, the better. And have patience. Everything worth working for it takes time, and that is really, really true. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So just remember that. Have patience. It is key. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you next time.